What is going on, guys? So a long time ago, let me refresh your memory here. A long time ago, I made a video showing the Surface Duo running a Nintendo DS emulator, because that's an obvious use case for something with two touchscreens like this, would be to run Nintendo DS games. Now, since that time, I've seen a great many people playing emulators like the DS on their Surface Duo using a Bluetooth gamepad. Now, I've held off for a while buying one, but I finally decided to take the plunge, and I purchased this gamepad right here for $49.99. It is the Flydigi Wee2T Mobile. Now, there are several options out there that you could go with to accomplish what I'm about to show you, but this is a good option. Now, you have to make sure whatever controller you get for your Duo is compatible with tablets, because it needs to be able to expand far enough to fit over the Surface Duo, and coincidentally enough, I have mine here. So we're going to go over the specs here real quick, kind of talk about what it is. We're going to do an unboxing, then I'm going to show you how it works on the Surface Duo. So as you can see here, it telescopes. So it pulls apart. I'm curious to see what the function, how that feels, kind of how tight, how good that feels to be in there. I'm not really sure. It says it's got motion sensing controls. Now, I mean, your phone has a gyro, so apparently this also has a gyro. I'm not sure how that's going to help, what good that's going to do. It has its own app, which we'll see if that's actually any good or not. Pretty much that's what we're dealing with when it comes to the Wee2T Pro. So let's jump over to the overhead camera now, and we will do a quick unboxing. I don't think there's really much to this thing, if I'm being totally honest with you. Flash play, Wee2T, telescopic and portable motion sensing control. Yeah, then it's got a little image here on the back showing, you know, kind of what kind of you know, motion sensing, telescoping, all that good stuff, whatever. So let's go ahead and open the thing up. And inside, front and center, is the controller itself. So let's pull this out, and we're going to set it aside for just a moment and see if there's anything else in the box. First, pull that out. You have a user manual, which maybe we'll need to reference, maybe not. I believe this thing does charge with USB micro. A little bit of a bummer there, but there, that is a micro USB cable. It's a flat cable and actually feels pretty decent, but I have a lot of micro USB cables, so I don't know that I'm gonna really care about that either. Let's throw all this back in there. It's pretty sparse unboxing experience, and there is the controller itself. So you have an A, B, X, Y layout, start, select. You've got this C and Z button here next to these buttons, which that's interesting, kind of weird. You do have proper shoulder buttons, and in addition to the triggers, they're quite clicky. The D-pad over here, joysticks are quite small, but I think that they will work just fine. The D-pad feels okay, buttons feel okay. The shoulder buttons actually feel pretty decent. I'll let you hear them. Not too bad. The regular buttons are a lot mushier, but overall it's not bad. What about the telescopic function? It does hold pretty well. You can get a sense of kind of the build quality there. One thing I am noticing though is it does flex around a lot. Not sure how I feel about that. Doesn't seem like it's made super duper well, but let's talk about in reference to the Surface Duo. So we're gonna pop this thing in there. And that's the kind of situation that you would be dealing with in regards to the Surface Duo. Let's unlock it now, and you'll kind of get an idea. So if you're playing something like a Nintendo DS, well, that's a pretty good way to go. Now, obviously, you could fold this thing down and play it as a single screen device. I wonder if you can get it to hold onto the Duo like this. I believe it is now. Is it too thick to go in folded over? It is, in fact, too thick when folded over. It doesn't actually want to go all the way over on the edges. You could still do this. I might be a little bit concerned about scratching the screen folded over back there. Probably won't do it that way. We'll probably do it the way I just now showed and just kind of fold that over. I think that would probably be fine, and that'll shut off that other screen just the same. Maybe that's the way to do it there. Okay, so other than that, in terms of the device, there's a power switch down here. There is that looks like the charging port there. Now over here, is a USB-A port, so I'm thinking this thing probably can charge your device. Probably not quickly, but I think that is an option. Power switch here, when you turn that on, you do get some blinking LEDs. So let's go ahead and get the thing set up now, and we'll go from there. Okay, so in order for this thing to work properly, you apparently do need to download the Flydigi Game Center, which is not something that I'm like super in love with, having to download an app to use a controller like this, but there it is. Once it is done and you have the thing set up, this is what it looks like. Now there is an option here to change from classic mode to Android Flash Play, and what I've discovered is that in emulators you need this thing to be in classic mode for it to work properly, so you may need to shuffle that around if emulators are going to be your primary concern. You can add your games to this little launcher here, and I've not done this yet, primarily because it's kind of janky because it's showing every app but not alphabetical order, and it's not showing my DS emulators. I don't really know what good that really does you. Fortnite is in there. Let's see if I add Fortnite. So it looks like it's got a mapping mode, which basically will allow you to play the game with a controller, even if a controller is not supported natively, so you'll be able to put points on the screen, I'm assuming, to determine, like, okay, when I press A, it's going to simulate touching the screen in this particular spot. I think Fortnite has native controller support. So anyways, that's what the app looks like. It's not, I don't love it. It's a little janky. In fact, they showed me an ad here in the beginning for some earbuds or something like that, so you know, whatever. But I'm going to throw it in classic mode, and I'm going to pretty much ignore this app for a little bit. So let's jump over to something like Drastic, which is a DS emulator, and let's see what the experience there is. Okay, so as you can see, I have got Drastic here running. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go into your settings here, and you're going to want to map your controls, which is something I've already done, but you can map your controls in there. At that point, you're going to want to actually go ahead and span the app and then rotate it that way. Okay, and it did kick me out of the game to do that, but that's fine. So we're going to go ahead and start Mario Kart back up. There's lots of settings in Drastic to go in and configure to make the game look better, which you can definitely do. So let's go ahead and jump in here, Grand Prix, and see what it actually feels like to play. The weight and everything, I mean, look, it feels a little flimsy, like you can kind of feel it shifting around a little bit. I can't say that it feels great, and the weight balance is definitely a little bit off, but okay, in terms of actually playing it though, I'm in the game. Not played Mario Kart on the DS in a while, but I think I'll get the hang of it again here shortly. Yep, and the shoulder button, everything's working the way that it should. Honestly, this is actually working pretty darn well. Yeah, I mean, what I essentially have right now is a kind of heavy, kind of awkward in a little bit of a way, kind of top heavy, I guess we'd be more specific, DS with giant high resolution screens that look way better than the original DS ever looked. The game is up-resed in a way that the old DS could have never possibly handled. I just missed all my items there, which I needed to try and catch this loser. Trying to banana peel me ain't gonna work. Now I'm gonna draft you. I'm gonna draft you, Toad. That's how you get first place right there, guys. I'm gonna finish this race. I'm gonna drop another banana peel on that Toad. Look at that. How about that? First place. So how does it work? I'd say it works pretty good. Now, again, I can't really stress enough here that there is some jankiness to this thing. I mean, it doesn't really feel super secure. Like, it's kind of flopping around in there because the Duo is so thin. I mean, it's all right. It's working pretty well. I mean, maybe you could get something and stuff it up in the gap here and fill in that gap a little bit and make it hold on a little bit better. Okay, so what about something like Fortnite? And I'm still in that classic mode. I didn't have to change it back to the other mode it was talking about in that settings, the whatever that was called. I'm just in the classic mode. So let's see how something like Fortnite works. I mean, it's actually working perfectly fine. This is actually really not bad. And for those that, you know, maybe you're the skeptical-minded person, you can see this in real time there. This is what's happening here, and this actually is working pretty darn well. Let's just go ahead and just jump. I don't really know how to play Fortnite. We're just going to drop in here and just going to drop in here and just going to see what happens. So I'm hovering in the 30 FPS range. Let's oh, shot my gun. Okay, it appears that everything is very pink and sandy in this direction. I don't know where that oh, there they are. Okay, well, there's a person or a bot. Are there bots in this game? I don't know. I might have just killed a robot. But I mean, yeah, it's totally... It's got to be a bot. That can't be a real person. Oh, I got killed. Killed him back for me. Killed him back for me. Okay, so you get the general idea here about the Wee2T Pro. I mean, overall, you know, look, $50. It's all right, you know. I kind of have a feeling that if you were using it with a different phone, like that feels better. But even still, that's what I'm talking about. There's just a little bit of jank to it where I don't know if this is maybe worth $50, but you know, maybe it is. It works really well. The buttons work well. If you can ignore that and just sort of the overall feeling of it, it's a decent product. I mean, overall in an emulator, it worked really well. In Fortnite, works really well. Definitely a pretty cool way to play games on your Surface Duo. If you're using something like xCloud, you're going to need a Microsoft, an Xbox controller. I believe it is limited to that. I believe the same is true with Stadia. I think you need particular controllers, but for just general games you find in the App Store or for emulators, maybe worth a look. So there will be a link to this controller in the description down below. If you want to grab one of these guys, you can do it through that link, and I get a little bit of that money kickback my way. So stay tuned for more coverage just like this, and until next time, stay nerdy, my friends.